Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's weekly memorial service. We'll begin today's service with the sutra chanting of Sambutsuge, followed by the reading of the names, and then a short Dharma talk, and then the reading of the letter on white ashes. So, as with every week, instead of having our traditional memorial services, we're having these weekly ones where we can combine it because we're unable to come together. So we'll continue to do this, and if you'd like your loved one's name read during the service, please fill out the Google form for that coming week. So we'll go ahead and get started with the chanting of Sambutsuge. Namo Hondaps, Namo Hondaps, Namo Hondaps, Hondaps. Kogen Gigi Ijimu Goku Nyoze Emyo Muyo Tosha Nichi Gatsu Mani Shuko Enyo Kaishitsu Onbei Yunyaku Jumoku Nyorai Yogen Chose Munin Shogaku Daion Konu Jipo Kaimon Shojin Sammai Chie Itoku Munyo Shusho Keu Jindai Zennem Shobetsu Hokai Gujin Jinno Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunu Seson Yomu Ninno Shishi Jindoku Munyo Kukun Kodai Chie Jinmyo Komyo Iso Shindo Daisen Ganga Sambutsu Zaisho Ho Kano Shoji Mifu Genatsu Fuse Joi Kainin Shojin Yoze Sammai Chie Inyo Gosei Tokubutsu Fugyo Shigan Isai Kukun Isa Dayan Keshi Ubutsu Hyakusen Okuman Munyo Daisho Shunyo Gojaku Yo Isai Shito Shobutsu Honyo Guno Kemsho Fugyaku Hinyo Gonya Shobutsu Sekai Bufu Kake Mushu Setsu no Komyo Shisho Enshi Shokoku Nyoze Shojin Ijin Nanyo Ryoga Sabutsu Koku no Dai Ichi Goshu Kimyo Dojo Chozetsu Koku nyo Naion Nimu Toso Gato Aimin Dodatsu Isai Jipo Naisho Shinnetsu Shoujo Ito Gakok Kenaku Annon Kobutsu Shinmyo Zega Shinsho Hotsugan Noi 力小小欲実法生存知恵無下上量子孫知が信用権量心身諸苦独中我行精進二流不言ナマンダメナマンダメナマンダメナマンダメナマンダメナマンダメ願にしくどく病の生祭道も大心おにょあんらこNamandobs, namandobs, 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 namandobs. Now I'll read the names for this week's memorial service. Kim Adachi, Mary Satoko Inoue, Terry Rafferty, Tracy L. Moore Heverly. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandobs, 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 namandobs. Okay, now I'll give a short Dharma talk. I wanted to tell a story from the Dhammapada, or at least the stories in the Dhammapada. So the Dhammapada is a collection of sayings of the Buddha, and then there is a group of stories that correspond to each one of the sayings. So for this one, this is the story of Theri Rupananda. There was a princess who was the daughter of Gotami, the stepmother of the Buddha. And she was very beautiful, so she was also known as Rupananda. She was married to Nanda, the cousin of the Buddha, and she was very lonely because she was thinking, my older stepbrother, who could have been king, he left and he became the Buddha, Rahula, the son of the Buddha, and her own husband, Nanda, have also become monks and studied under the Buddha. Her mother, Gotami, has become a nun, and she was all alone by herself. So she decided also to become a nun, not really because she was sincere in her wanting to become a nun, but rather she just felt really lonely. So, I don't know, kind of a sad reason to become a nun, but that's why she wanted to go. And she became a nun. She was trying to work at it, but again, her feelings maybe weren't as sincere. And so when she talked to other people at the monastery with the Sangha, she heard that the Buddha did not really like the impermanence, or he would talk about impermanence, he would talk about unsatisfactoriness, and then so he would probably not talk very kindly about her good looks. He would probably talk, badly about them. So she did try to actually stay away from the Buddha, so she wouldn't have to hear him talk so poorly about her good looks. And the Buddha saw her, and with this amazing kind of understanding of people and what would be the best for them, he realized her great attachment to her looks and her body and her beauty. And so he said to himself that a thorn can only be taken out with a thorn. And with this, he meant that he had to take away her attachment to beauty with beauty. So probably a normal person would act just as Rupananda would have expected, and for him to be mean to her or talk badly about, like, oh, you shouldn't be so attached, or, beauty is not that great. But instead, he decided that he had to do something very similar to it. So he created a image of a very beautiful woman. So this woman was only able to be seen by Rupananda and the Buddha. So this was part of the Buddha's supernatural powers. And he caused this image to be someone who was very beautiful, even more beautiful than her, and also her junior in age. So looking at this very beautiful girl, Rupananda actually felt like kind of this old, kind of ugly woman compared to her. But she saw how good she looked, and she felt like they kind of had this almost like a kindred spirit, in that they were both these young, beautiful women, and so she took this liking to her. So again and again, she would look at this figure next to the Buddha in between, when she was supposed to be meditating. But every time she looked at this woman, she noticed that she grew a little bit older every time. So at first, she was very young, very youthful, and then she turned into a more grown, and then a mature lady, and again, like looking away, looking back, and then a middle-aged lady, finally an old lady, and then a very kind of old lady. She also noticed that with this new image, the old image, there was this continuous process of change and decay with the body. So she was very aware of this constant changing as she got older. Then she finally came to the realization that this too would happen to her, and that's when her attachment to her own beauty would disappear. Finally, and this is kind of gruesome, but then the Buddha created the image to be this corpse that was decaying. And as Rupananda saw this, she pondered to herself, this young girl has grown old and decrepit and died in this very place under my own eyes. In the same way, my body will also grow old and wear out. It will be subject to disease, and I will also die. Thus, she came to perceive the true nature of attachment. And at this point, the Buddha talked about impermanence, and Rupananda attained enlightenment. So then the Buddha spoke this verse, this body is built up with bones, which are covered with flesh and blood. Within this dwell decay and death, pride and detraction. So that was the story of Rupananda and how she had this attachment to beauty and good looks, and it was only taken away from the Buddha's supernatural powers, but then also just him showing her an example of how there was someone even more youthful and even more beautiful than her, and even she would be subject to the same kind of impermanence that we all do. So it was pointless for her to hang on to that attachment to how she looked and to her beauty. Of course, we don't live as monks and nuns, so we can't have that kind of extreme of releasing our attachments, but we can try to let go at least to a certain extent. I know I know that age doesn't really matter. I know that there's definitely some older men and women that are still very concerned about how they look and, the color of their hair and everything. And that's okay. It's all right to still have these kinds of attachments, but hopefully it doesn't stop us from living a happy life. When it starts getting in the way of us being happy or at peace, then that's when it really becomes a problem. And I think that during this time when we're all socially distancing, it gives us a little bit of a way to let go of it, almost unintentionally. So, like when we wear nice clothes or something, or even just like regular clothes, like wearing, pants with like a button on it or something, it's a special occasion because normally we're just in PJs or something. Or maybe that's just me. But this idea that we don't have to try so hard to look good for ourselves or for the people around us, we can just kind of relax, is this kind of freeing feeling. And again, like living in a society, living amongst other people, we have to be aware of how we look, to be respectful for other people, to have confidence in ourselves. There's actually, this kind of value in trying to dress well or dress respectful. But we can't let it hold us back so hard that it begins to take over us. It begins to consume us. And so we have to learn to let go a little bit. Because just as the Buddha showed Rupanda, at the end of the day, the end is the same for all of us. And when we realize that there are more important things than just maybe our beauty or how good we look, then we can start to understand that by putting our effort into those other things, we can live a happier life. So I hope that this quarantine, whenever we get out of it at some point, we can let go a little bit of how we look. And then by doing so, we can open up a little more energy or time in our heart and mind to give to something a little more, worthwhile. If you could please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabs, namandabs. Okay, now I'll read the letter on white ashes, written by Renyo Shonin, the 8th head abbot of our school of Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu. In silently contemplating the transient nature of human existence, nothing is more fragile and fleeting in this world than the life of man. Thus we've not heard of human life lasting for 1,000 years. Life passes swiftly, and few among men can maintain their form for even 100 years. Whether I go before others or others go before me, whether it be today or tomorrow, who is to know? Those who depart before us are as countless as the drops of dew. Though in the morning we may have radiant health, in the evening we may return to white ashes. When the winds of impermanence blow, our eyes are closed forever, and when the last breath leaves us, our face loses its color. The loved ones may gather and lament, everything is to no avail. The body is then sent into an open field and vanishes from this world with the smoke of cremation, leaving only the white ashes. Nothing is more real than this truth of life. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old. Therefore we must, one and all, turn to the teachings of the Buddha Dharma and awaken to the essence of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we come to appreciate the meaning of this life, which is to be treasured because it is unrepeatable. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcelled value of this existence, and let us live together with gratitude in our hearts. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabs, namandabs, namandabs. Thank you again for tuning into this service. Please join us tomorrow at 9:30 for our morning Sunday service. Thank you. Bye-bye.